Barron Trump's life has been a mystery for a long time, even though he is the son of one of the most famous people in the world. His privacy is strictly protected, and we only get small glimpses into his world. Recently, something sad happened in his life, which has made people wonder why so little is known about him and why he has stayed out of his father's politics spotlight while other Trump family members get more attention. Join us today as we reveal shocking news about Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump, and why the Trump family has kept their son out of sight. But first, let's look at his life and growth. Barron Trump was born on March 20th, 2006, just a year after his parents retired. When Donald and Melania Trump got married, their son Barron Trump was born a year later. He is Donald's fifth child and Melania's only son. Like many other presidential children, Barron was a pretty quiet boy who spent most of his childhood in the White House. Before that, he lived in Trump Tower in New York City on his floor with gold touches and fancy furniture. The boy's mother, Melania, said she was committed to helping him stay with her. Barron started going to Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School, a famous New York school. Even though he came from a wealthy and famous family, Melania made sure he did his homework and did other activities like other kids. In his last year there, Barron went on a class trip to Washington, D.C., with about 80 other kids to see the White House after Donald Trump became president. Barron and Melania stayed in New York until the end of the school year. That summer, Barron started at St. Andrew's Episcopal School in Maryland, and the family moved to the White House. Barron's tuition at St. Andrews was almost $40,000 per year, which was more than double what other first families paid for Sidwell Friends, the Obama school. Donald said that Barron didn't want to leave New York at first because he liked his life and school there, but moving to Washington changed his life a lot. Donald said that his son had a. He convinced Barron that moving would allow him to help others, including kids like himself, which made Barron happy. Donald thought his young son was smart and strong, and he understood well. Melania Trump and Donald's older children were constantly exposed to media, and his decision to run for president was a major turning point in their lives. Even though Barron was only a child, the stress of being in public could have hurt the campaign and the presidency. Melania wanted to protect him from these effects, which is why she chose to stay in New York with Barron after the election instead of moving to the White House right away. She wanted Barron to finish his school year without any problems, even though some people didn't agree with her choice and thought it would cost more because of the extra security needed. During the transition, Melania emphasized how important stability and consistency were for Barron. During Donald Trump's presidency, Melania continued to make her son a priority. She took a hands-on approach to parenting, often taking time away from public roles or official duties to spend time with Barron. Unlike Trump's other older children, who were more social, Melania made sure that Barron had a stable and consistent life. What do you think about Barron's limited public appearances and exposure? Recently, a lot of attention has been on Donald Trump's 18-year-old son Barron, who is 6 feet tall and looks more like a basketball player than a soccer player, according to his father. Barron is the tallest of Trump's children. For some reason, Donald is shorter than him. His father is said to be 6'3" and tall, but everyone agrees that Trump is no taller than 6'2". This only shows how tall he was compared to his family. His mother, Melania Trump, was 5'8" and tall, and his stepbrothers, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., were 6'5" and 6'1". During a teleconference with his family from his campaign office in Des Moines, Iowa, Trump said nice things about all of his children, including Barron. He joked that Barron was so tall because he only ate food made by his wife Melania's mother, Emiliana. Trump said nice things about Barron and said that the more he gets to know him, the more he likes him. Trump had hoped Barron would play basketball, but Barron is more interested in soccer. Trump said that Barron was a special boy among his 5 children. Donald Eric Trump and Ivanka Trump are Barron Trump's older siblings. They are Donald Trump's children with his first wife, Ivana Trump. All 3 of them have worked to run the Trump Organization and were their father's go-betweens for national TV interviews before the 2016 election. After Trump's shocking victory in the election, they were named to the Trump transition team. Donald Jr. and Eric continued to run the family's real estate business, while Ivanka moved to Washington, D.C., with her husband Jared Kushner, who was named President Trump's senior advisor. Tiffany Ariana Trump was born on October 13, 1993, to former President Donald Trump and Mara Maples Trump, who was married to Trump's second wife during his 2016 campaign. She studied sociology and urban studies at the Tiffany later got her law degree at Georgetown University Law Center, which she finished in May 2020. She rarely left home while she was in college, but she did speak out for her father during her graduation speech at the Republican National Convention when she was 22 years old. In addition to supporting her father, Tiffany has given speeches at the 2020 Republican National Convention and other live campaign events. She also stood by him after his first arrest in 2023, giving a speech at Mar-a-Lago. Barron's mother, Melania Trump, could have been more talkative during her modeling career, at least based on what the public knows. As First Lady, she put spending time with her family ahead of going out with friends. She became close with Donald's children from his previous marriages, saying that she sees herself more as a friend than a mother figure. Melania had been a part of their lives since they were teens and went to their high school and college graduations, showing that she had a long-standing relationship with them. Barron became an uncle when he was still a child. His nieces and nephews are Donald Trump, Tristan Trump, Spencer Trump, Joseph Kushner, Theodore Kushner, and Eric Trump. His niece Kai Trump is only 1 year younger than him, and his nephews are Donald Trump, Tristan Trump, Spencer Trump, Joseph Kushner, and Eric Trump. Raising Barron, who was often called a special child, presented Melania with challenges that few could have imagined. Many people in the Mar-a-Lago Club and other acquaintances know Melania Trump, but they are not close with her. She doesn't usually join in conversations or social events. Her family has always come first, especially her role as a dedicated mother to Barron and her promise to protect him. This has been her approach for a long time. Sources say Barron is quiet and reserved. Melania has always taken great care of him. Along with her charitable work, she spends a lot of time on her family and making sure they are healthy. As a child, Barron learned English and Slovene, which is his mother's native language. He became fluent in both languages and also speaks some French. As a child, he often called his grandmother and talked to her. Barron only spoke Slovene in public, but Melania encouraged him to learn more languages, and she and Donald Trump agreed that he should speak English. Melania once said that speaking more languages is good, but when you're in America, you have to speak English. Barron's public appearances have been few and far between, which has sparked interest in his life and personality. Despite the intense media attention on his family, Barron has maintained a higher level of privacy than most children in similar situations, thanks to his parents' efforts. Melania's education has been a major priority for Melania. He emphasized the importance of a strong academic foundation. Unlike many famous children, Barron's schooling has focused on academic excellence and humility. During Donald Trump's presidency, Barron made a few memorable public appearances, such as standing with his family during the 2017 inauguration. His solemn demeanor at the event made him the youngest member of the first family, and the picture of him with his parents and siblings became iconic. However, some media outlets have gone too far with their speculation about Barron's personality. When someone in the media made assumptions about Barron's mental health based on his behavior at a public event, Melania quickly defended her son, telling the media to respect his privacy, even though Barron had the chance to become famous. What happened next took a heartbreaking turn when Donald Trump's presidency ended in 2021. Barron joined Oxbridge Academy, a prestigious PR school in Palm Beach, Florida, and was part of the Barron class of 2024, was 18 years old, and was thinking about what to do after high school. He was offered the chance to represent Florida at the Republican National Convention, which suggested he might be interested in politics, but Melania later said he turned down the offer because he had other commitments. Many Trump. Both family supporters supported Barron's choice, thinking it was a smart one that would help him keep his privacy and focus on his own growth since he's 18. Some people said Barron shouldn't make this choice because of public pressure, especially since his family has been the subject of a lot of media attention. Others said it was a bad choice because it could mean he doesn't want to follow in his father's political footsteps or isn't ready to do so. Others think Barron's choice shows he wants a normal life away from politics for now, which could mean he wants to make his own identity separate from the public and politics. Some people think that the stress his family has been under, especially Melania, played a part in his decision. Melania has always been very protective of Barron's privacy. She may have told him to focus on his education and growth as a young man instead of the formal duties he might have in the future. Barron has only known about private life since he was a child, so this could be his way of coming out on his own and writing about his destiny as a model. Melania had been through the trials that come with being married to a famous person and a businessman. It's important to remember that she chose to focus on her son's education and a normal, happy childhood over any benefits that came with being famous. This was clear in how she managed his early education and his outings, making sure that no one knew who he was. The young man could have used the experience he gained as a delegate at the Republican National Convention to make a difference. Barron made a name for himself in the public and political spheres. Being a delegate of an organization isn't just an honor, it comes with duties. Delegates represent their state, vote for the party's presidential candidate, and talk about the party's agenda at their events if Barron had agreed to accept. Taking this position would have put him in the public eye, which he had tried to avoid all his life. One reason he may have done this is because the Trump family's public involvement is different from that of the wealthy political dynasties of Kennedy or Bush. For example, Trump's rise to power was not based on politics, but on business and entertainment. This background affected how they behaved in public places, where they wanted to make sure they were seen in a good light. For Barron, this has meant there is a very thin line between what it means to be part of the first family and Barron's need and desire to keep his own life private. This is shown by the fact that he isn't on any social media sites, while Trump's older children are very active on sites like Twitter and Instagram, talking about their lives and the president's policies. Barron doesn't have any accounts on these sites. It's likely that Melania wants to protect Barron Trump from the bad things in the world, especially now that we live in a technological age. Barron Trump doesn't have any social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, Discord, or YouTube. The only one that is linked to him is Twitter, where he has posts. However, Barron doesn't usually share his personal life or opinions on social media, but his mother, former First Lady Melania Trump, has. On her social media accounts, Melania has posted many tweets and photos of Barron as a young child doing things like playing on the beach, golfing at his dad's courses, and spending time with his family. These tweets and photos were posted between 2012 and 2015. Melania linked the Barron Trump account, which has over 22,700 followers. As of September 30, 2024, this account only follows her and has no other followers. It only shows Barron Trump's handle and the fact that he joined Twitter in August 2012, when he was 6 years old. As Barron turns 18, there is a lot of talk about his future and whether he will stay out of the public eye. Now that Barron is in college, there are a lot of questions about whether he's been able to keep up the private life he's always had. Barron recently moved out with his family. What do you think made him make this decision? Well, let's find out. If Barron were to step away from the family's influence, he could significantly change the Trump family's reputation by establishing his own identity and pursuing his own interests. By diversifying the family brand and expanding its reach into new areas, Barron could benefit personally and improve the Trump family's image by demonstrating their flexibility in different fields. Barron's future is still uncertain because it will depend on the choices he makes as he grows up. He will likely have to deal with the realities of being part of one of the most famous families in the world, whether he goes to school, starts a business, runs for city council, or chooses a different field. Barron will be under a lot of pressure from the media and political experts. The opportunities and risks are huge, and his decisions will affect not only his future and that of his family, but also the history of the Trump family. Barron is still young and can bring new and different ideas to their business, politics, or other activities. How he uses this potential will be an interesting part of his life. Told the New York Post that he would go to college in New York, but he didn't say which one. The former president said that his team would soon announce the name of the college in an interview with Fox News. Melania Trump said that Barron had suggested going to school in New York and living in the family's Manhattan skyscraper. She said that it was his choice to move to the city and that he had expressed his desire to do so. She fully supported his choice to study and live there, and she told him how great he was, praising his maturity and pointing out his resilience, intelligence, understanding, and compassion as truly impressive traits. The Stern School of Business at NYU recently welcomed Barron as a new student, amidst increased security and media attention. Donald Trump said that Barron chose to attend New York University on his own. Barron said he had acceptance letters from other schools but chose NYU's Stern Business School instead. Trump praised NYU, saying he had known about it for a long time and thought it was very well known. He also said that Barron hadn't chosen any extracurricular activities yet. Barron didn't go to the Stern Spotlight event, where students can join clubs and organizations at the beginning of the school year. He also skipped the freshman and welcome parties during his first week of college, which suggests he had a different kind of college experience. Barron has had to deal with security in a convoy of SUVs. Some students have tried to talk to him and take pictures, but he has stayed quiet in class. Security staff have been stationed at the school gate to check student IDs, which has caused long lines outside because of Barron's presence. Despite this, his classmates have shown that they want to respect his privacy and well-being and have wished him the best. Barron is the youngest of Donald Trump's 5 children. Along with his siblings Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany, who have been more visible in public, especially while their father was president, the Trump children are now adults and are involved in their father's business and political ventures, regularly attracting attention with their public appearances and statements. Barron, on the other hand, has been kept out of the public eye by his mother, who chose to avoid the spotlight during a podcast. Ryan Garcia Barron kindly offered to walk Patrick Bet David and his team to their car, Even though he was the son of a billionaire and a president, he insisted on being a good customer service representative by making sure they got out of the venue safely. Barron also said that he and his siblings could never compare to the hard work and struggles their father went through when he was only 18. It is admirable that he recognizes the advantages and comforts of his family's life compared to his father's.